I was lost completely. And the fog finally lifted after I put in the effort. If you've ever felt stuck, frustrated, or unsure why initiatives aren't landing the way you intend, it's not because you're lazy, unmotivated, or incapable. It's because you're missing one key element: clarity. Blindly implementing initiatives will only create frustration and confusion. Not knowing where you're going does not make you flexible, adaptable, and spontaneous. It actually just curses you to wander aimlessly without a clear path. You are going to eventually stumble and even fall down. If you've made it to any position of authority in your organization, congratulations! But now the real work begins. Because now you're not just expected to manage operations, you're expected to help chart the path forward. And strategy without clear vision, that's just like trying to retain water in a colander. So let's talk about how we do this. Clarity always starts with real vision, not a buzzword, not some cool made up phrase that you laminate on a poster. Real vision. So let me ask you this simple but kind of uncomfortable question. What do you actually care about? For me, the answer only became clear over time. It took a lot of thought. It took a lot of iteration. It took a lot of trial and error to find exactly what I wanted to do. And I found out a few things about myself on that journey of me trying woodworking in my garage, or roasting coffee, or doing web design. And I'm sure you're picking up, I tried a wide variety of things on a very low scale in order to figure out what I loved. And the things I learned about myself: I love helping people. I love creating something that other people enjoy. And I love leaving a legacy. But if I hadn't gone and experimented with a bunch of things that are hobbies, things that I like doing to try to start a business, I would not have found what I truly am passionate about. The thing that even when I start to lose motivation and passion, I keep coming back to and I keep doing, and it's helping you to unlock your full potential. But here's the thing: even when I knew what I wanted to do, I had the vision, everything after that was still just kind of foggy. It was hazy. I didn't know how I was going to make it reality at all. I'm trying to make content on social media for marketing. I'm building methodologies and systems and frameworks and all these kinds of things. But how do the pieces fit together? And what's my strategy to push me towards success? This is how vision helps as the foundation of true clarity. Vision forces alignment between all of the different pieces because it answers some really important questions. What actually matters? What doesn't matter? What am I willing to say no to? So if you skip this step, trying to chart your vision and truly understand what vision is, everything you do after that is just gonna be noise. You're gonna feel lost. It's gonna feel like chaos. You're not really gonna know what the next step you should take is because you don't even know your destination. I mean, that's what vision is really. At its heart, vision is the destination, your ideal future state, where you want to be. Now that you know your vision, and you know where you want to be, you have to figure out how you're gonna get there. So to keep you grounded, to keep you on the right path, you have to know your mission. So again, vision tells you where you're going. The mission tells you why you're going there. Why am I walking this path in the first place? Simon Sinek has built an entire business off of really just one really important question: why? And he famously said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. But I want to take that just a little further with you. I want to clarify your mission answers. What keeps you awake at night? What burden do you personally feel responsible to carry? Until I fully clarified the why for Develop You, I struggled with commitment. I struggled with motivation. The why keeps you grounded, okay? It keeps you moving on the path even when motivation is gone, because you know there's a real purpose behind this. Commitment naturally follows purpose. This is why if you don't have a clear mission, if you don't really know why, trying to execute any initiative is just going to feel heavy. It's going to feel overbearing. It's going to feel stressful because you don't really understand the why. We know where we want to be. We understand why we're trying to get there. So the next thing we need to do is map the gap. This is where most leaders tend to get really uncomfortable. And this is the crucible where real clarity is forged. You cannot skip this step. Really, you can't skip any of these steps. There are some real questions that you have to answer very honestly. Where am I right now? I know where I want to be, but where am I now? And then what's stopping me getting from here, where I am, to there, where I want to be, to fulfill my vision? What's getting in the way? And then you have to analyze, okay, now that I understand, I can chart a strategy to figure out how to get to where I want to be. I can say, okay, what's already in my hand? What do I currently have? What am I currently holding? And then what am I missing? So this is what I have. This is what I don't have. Is there something here I need to let go? And is there something here that I don't have that I need? You've really got to take your time on this step. You have to truly understand current state, because if you don't understand before you implement, you're causing a lot of frustration and confusion for yourself and anybody who follows after you. You cannot fix what you refuse to name. You cannot overcome an obstacle when you can't even see that it is an obstacle in your path. You have to name the obstacles. You have to name the gaps that you have to cross so you can continue on your path. If you're not willing to define where you are and the things that are blocking you from getting where you need to be, you can have all the purpose in the world, all of your good intentions will really not have good impact. Clarity requires truth. Being truthful is an act of courage, and leadership requires courage. So if you really want to be a leader, you have to be truthful. You have to be honest first with yourself. You know where you are and what's in the way. Now you can design a strategy to overcome these obstacles. But it's only at this point that strategy really starts to make sense. This is where a tool like SWOT really comes in handy. What is SWOT? SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you'll go and you look at all your current state data and you identify things of whether or not they're a strength or a weakness, which are things internal to your business or your organization, or if they're an opportunity or threat, which are things that are external that you don't currently have in your business or organization. And you weigh these against each other to build a strategy statement. So the framework that I use is, because I have this strength, weakness, opportunity, or threat, I can leverage this strength or opportunity or overcome this weakness or threat so that I can see this expected result. This isn't theory. This is actual executable clarity, real strategy. So as an example, one of the strategies for Develop You is, because I have everything I need to make content on social media, that's a strength. I can reorganize my time opportunity so that the expected result is hopefully greater turnaround of people ingesting the content and building the business and getting some momentum going. So that's my strategy. I want to build momentum for Develop You. So I'm going to use the strength of everything I already have, all of the equipment and all of the knowledge and AI and all of these things to help me have a consistent social media plan so that I can overcome the lack of consistency that I've had over this last year or so. Hopefully this time next year in 2027, we'll see how well I did. You know where you want to be. You know why you're doing it. You know where you are and what's getting in the way. And you've identified the specific strategy or strategies that are going to help you overcome the obstacles in your way and strengthen your standing. 60% of your effort should be planning, 30% of your effort should be doing, and 10% of your effort should be controlling. So we've done the 60%. Now we got to do the 30%. A strategy that doesn't actually get deployed is just an idea. And you're watching right now a strategy being deployed. I am trying different things in order to grow Develop You. But if I didn't implement this, then it would have just been an idea that I wrote down. and it would have turned into nothing and it would have been worthless. So this is where understanding your systems and really just the bigger picture is very important. I have 2 tools that I created, which if you go to my link in bio and you subscribe to my newsletter, you'll get both of these in your email. You'll get a link to both in your email, and you should be able to download these and keep them. And you can use these to help guide you through improving systems and then change management. If you have to deal with other people, especially, you can build a rhythm for change, and you can build your system to be stable, sound, and ready to weather any storm. You have to be fully committed. I'm going through my cadence process right now. The last C of cadence is commit. I am committing no matter what. I will stick to this content creation schedule as much as I can because I want to strengthen my system and not cause it to fail. But just discipline alone without all of the pieces before, without clarity, it's just going to burn people out, because they're going to feel like they're being beat over the head. I know I've got to do it this way, but they don't really understand the vision. And I just want to get real with you for a moment. It was very difficult for me to really chart a path for Develop You until I followed this process. I was busy. I struggled with motivation. I was feeling overwhelmed. I was producing some things here and there, but there was no consistency. There was no real tie-in to the greater vision for Develop You. And the fog finally lifted after I put in the effort to really define, where do I want to be? Why am I going there? What is stopping me? Where am I at now? What are the things I'm going to do to help me get there? So here's the takeaway I want you to sit with, and I really want you to just meditate on. Without a clear path, you are going to eventually stumble and even fall down. The higher we go, clarity is no longer optional. In fact, it's one of the costs of responsibility that you're taking on yourself to be a leader. So if this video resonated with you in any way, if you felt similar to how I did until I implemented this, go ahead and subscribe. Please like the video, especially if you like learning more about leadership, systems, change management, and strategy in a way that is somebody actually doing it, boots on the ground, not some corporate fluff or some super educational feel that just doesn't feel real or natural. Drop a comment. Tell me, where are you feeling stuck? Maybe I can offer some advice. And if you haven't already, please go watch the previous video on what leaders actually need in 2026 to be successful. It ties directly into everything that we've discussed here today. So until next time, grow with grace and lead with clarity. I'll see you in the next one.